Let's go. Let's do it. Okay. Me. To do my vocal warm up.
Many men, 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 many men.
Do you ever do like my sorry, slightly random. You could bring this in, it doesn't matter. Do you ever do like for the performing my daughter does? Chicken tikka starter.
No.
Just to get
No, we didn't do
to get the
I like that one.
Anyway.
Vocal warm-ups aside.
Vocal warm-ups aside. Let's go. So I'm actually here today in our lovely Liverpool studio feeling slightly nervous because I'm interviewing the interviewer. So it gives me great pleasure today to welcome to the She Loves to Plan podcast the gorgeous, lovely Gemma, who's going to be talking to us today all about procrastination. Because there is a slight ironic twist here. This podcast is called the She Loves to Plan podcast. And generally, if you're a procrastinator, you're not a great planner. Or you might be a great planner, but you just don't then know how to go out there and action it. So giving us today all her tips and tricks is the lovely Gemma. This is the She Loves to Plan podcast, the podcast for the time-poor entrepreneur, the business owner spinning too many plates, and the business mum who wants to feel more successful, more accomplished, and more organised, all whilst building a profitable business. I'm Monique Svensson, founder of Perfect Planner Company and planning enthusiast, and I'm going to be sharing with you my planning hacks, goal-setting strategies, time management tips and tricks, and secrets to success. Every goal needs a plan, and I'm here to help you. Time is the most precious thing we have, and I'm going to show you how to get more of it in your busy life. No more winging it, no more feeling unaccomplished. Let's get planning, let's smash our goals, and let's build the business of our dreams because she loves to plan. Morning.
I've got to disagree with you though there.
Go on.
I am expert level planner, as you know. Hence why we came together.
Yes,
mutual
we are buddies. A love of planning.
Love planning. Executing that plan, that's the hard part for me. Always has been, always will be.
So tell us how did you kind of come to learn so much about procrastination then? Was this because you knew you loved planning, yet you struggled actioning it, taking action, executing it? How did it all come about?
No, it's because a mate of mine said, listen, we can make some money on Amazon writing books. All we need to do is find a topic where there's not a lot of competition. So we had vegan keto, something about breastfeeding.
I'd love to know about vegan keto.
Exactly.
Can you do that next?
Well, no. And self-discipline was the other one. If we'd have gone for vegan keto, because my famous words were, vegan keto, that'll never take on. Of course, this was like 5-6 years ago now. It's massive now.
You would have been huge.
I would have been huge.
You are huge, though.
I might have been actually huge from eating all the cheese.
It's not vegan.
Cheese. It's not
no.
vegan, is it? What are you supposed to eat then? Nuts and avocado and a bit of salad. Maybe I'd have been thin. So, yeah, that's the actual truth. Self-discipline was a topic on Amazon that didn't have a lot of competition. So that's why I wrote a book on self-discipline, because I'd recently, at the time, started doing the miracle morning process and planning my day and doing all the self-development work. So I thought, do you know what? Yeah, I've read loads of books. I can write a book on self-discipline. And I'm not religious, but if I was, I'd say, thanks God for sending me that, because I needed that lesson more than ever. They say that you should write the book you need to read yourself. And that's exactly what I did.
Wow, I love that. So you've got 2 books.
Yeah.
You've got the discipline, self-care. Self-discipline. And I love your tagline as well on that, which is to pull your finger out.
Hashtag pull your finger out.
And get shit done.
Yeah,
which
that
we
doesn't
love.
translate to an American audience, you know.
Oh.
When you say pull your finger out to an American audience,
What does that mean?
They think that you're going for a rectal exam. They say get in gear. Not pull your finger out. So I didn't realise this when I created that.
So you need 2
hashtag.
edits, don't you, of your book? You need the American edit, and you've got a second book as well, haven't you? Stop Procrastinating and Start Living, which was published in 2020.
Yeah, last year in lockdown.
So tell us a little bit about these books. Tell us, how can they help people out there? How can they help people take action on their plans?
Well, when I was writing this book, the competition was Olympic athletes, SAS people, mainly men. You know, it's all about militant self-discipline, running ultramarathons, climbing Everest. And I'm not that person. I'm the person who needs to have discipline to clear the pots up at the end of the night and not just go to bed and leave them crusting on the side.
If my husband's listening, I'm really sorry.
Have you done that? Have you done that when you left? But I do think there's a market for discipline for the average person who's just in that struggle juggle of life of trying to get stuff done, especially, you know, if you're a mum like we are, it takes militant planning and discipline to execute getting your kids out the door without screaming at them like you're about to bust a vocal cord because they've not got matching socks on.
Yeah.
So I do discipline and stopping procrastination for the average person who just wants to feel that little bit more like they've got the stuff together.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, because I think we get so, you know, and I've talked about this a lot already throughout this podcast, you know, we get so overwhelmed with just everyday stuff, you know, that actually sometimes it's so overwhelming, we can really then just go, oh, sod this, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to do it, you know, and you're just set back. So it's finding that, isn't it? It's finding that sort of strength or that trigger that will just make you go, do you know what, I'm just going to do a little bit. And by doing a little bit every single day, you can actually, you gradually can build that up and you can get more done and be more efficient with our time and all of those things. But I know procrastination is a real struggle.
It's
for
huge.
So many people.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've even got a pad somewhere that my mum bought me. It was into 4 quadrants and it was how to stop procrastination, and you had to put into these different quadrants, you know, the how important something is, and then you had to then do that thing, and then, you know, the not so important, not so urgent. And you know, because she said to me, you know, years ago, I really was a bad procrastinator. I can't afford to be anymore. I just have to get it done, because, you know, when you run your own business, you have got to just go out there and get it done, because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Nobody else is doing it. No, you've not got somebody doing the work for you.
But do you think there's sort of an element there that, like, do you think there's a bit of sort of psychology behind it? You know,
there's loads of psychology. So the simple science is that procrastination and having that tendency to want to do something that's a bit more fun and putting off things that you know is important, the motivation and the driver behind that is the limbic system in the brain, which controls the pleasure centers of the brain. The part of the brain that's to do with planning is the prefrontal cortex. Now, unfortunately, the limbic system is stronger than the prefrontal cortex. So you're not a failure, you're not lazy, you're just not wired. You know, we are wired to take the path of least resistance, stay in our comfort zone. Our brains want to keep us safe. And when we try and change too much and do too much, like you say, we do get overwhelmed. And it's like that prefrontal cortex just goes, the limbic system takes over. Yeah, come on, let's watch Netflix. Yeah. Let's eat that full bar of chocolate, even though we know we want to stick with our health goals. Yeah. And it is hard. So that's one part of it. But then procrastination is different for each person. And I think finding out your own style is really important. I've recently read a book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza and had the biggest light bulb moment. So Dr. Joe Dispenza looks at brainwaves and brain patterns and thoughts that creates actions, that creates behaviour. I've made a massive realisation that my brain is wired to be comfortable with stress. I've been stressed my whole life.
Oh, I think I probably fall into that as well.
It was a real like, oh my God, this is me. And his line was, are you addicted to stress? And I thought, actually, I don't know any better. At school, I took extra GCSEs. I did my A-levels early. I had extra jobs. I always was this person who had so much on a plate. And it's only recently I've been able to look at this science behind the brain and how we operate. And I'm like, that's me. I'm addicted to stress.
Oh my God.
So I'm a procrastinator.
I'm having an aha.
You're having an aha moment. Yeah. So I'm a procrastinator who is a deadline dancer. And actually, sometimes I think that's my greatest superpower. is leaving everything till the last minute, letting that adrenaline kick in and getting it done. So over the last year or so, I have been actively doing that using a planner. So let's say I've got a deadline of 5 o'clock on a Friday. Instead of saying I'm going to put it in at 1 o'clock on a Monday and then it gets rubbed out, because we all know that me and you are erasable pen fans.
Exactly, which allows you
to rub stuff out.
And just shift it along a little bit, yeah?
Or put it in nicer writing if you're like me and you. Because you want to make your handwriting look nicer.
Any mess. Anyway, we digress. But we can do
Monday,
a whole other episode on that.
Monday, 1 o'clock deadline, and it gets pushed to Tuesday, and it gets pushed to Wednesday. You know what it's like? You're in the car, I'm taking my kids to school, I'm thinking about it. I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about it, making tea, thinking about it. I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to do that. And that stress builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And you know what's going to happen?
You can do it
You're just going to do it on Friday at 4 o'clock anyway.
Yeah.
So recently, I've been planning stuff in on Fridays at 4 o'clock when things need to be done, because I feel that sometimes that's my procrastination superpower is being a last minute Larry.
Yeah.
So I might as well really push it to the edge. But then another part of me is like, is that just playing into the stress addiction? Like, but it has been
that is
working for me.
So interesting. So interesting. Because I'm like that. I get the buzz from planning and thinking it all out.
Yeah.
But the actual implementation, I do push it.
Oh, yeah.
And push it. And it's quite funny. My maiden name is Seif. And I had a friend that it just reminded me, he used to call me Seif Stenders, like EastEnders, but Seif Stenders, because my life was always a drama. He was like, what's happened today? And he used to sing the EastEnders theme tune as I walked in the room, because I was one of those people that just sort of thrived on
think
stress
about our backgrounds, right? You've got a background in theatre.
Yeah.
That curtain's up at 7:30.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether the props are out, whether people are dressed, are they mic'd up, it's 7:30 and it's happening.
Yeah.
My background is radio and writing.
Same process.
It's the same process.
Yeah.
You know, I started off doing traffic and travel, and my bulletins were every 15 minutes. You can guarantee I would push it to the last second, listening to those listeners on the jam line to write down everything. And I would run through to the studio at the last minute, because that's what life was like. It was that buzz of a deadline. And, you know, I've worked with newspapers as well, with journalism. I had to get my column in by 5 o'clock on a Monday. You can guarantee 4:59 that email gets sent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there's a lie at 1:15. I'm sorry, this is in my drafts. Lies.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
wasn't.
there seems to be a problem with my email.
And I've typed it like the clappers in 10 seconds and got it across. So yeah, but another form of procrastination as well is tied into feelings of self-worth and not feeling like you can do something. So it's different, you know, leaving the pots out, not pairing, you know, not doing the laundry. That's different to, I've got this really big piece of work, or, you know, let's say you're pitching for some business, and there'll be an element of you that's like, that imposter syndrome kicks in,
isn't it?
I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I don't believe in myself. So this is where my message kind of dovetails and links in, because I truly believe that on things like that are important, where you know it's your own confidence that's getting in the way, or your own self-belief, I believe that you can treat self-discipline as a form of self-care, and you can keep promises to yourself. So if you make a promise to yourself,
and you are excellent at this.
I'm great
You
at
are
this.
very good at this.
But if you can keep a promise to yourself, then over time, you trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, that's when you develop self-belief. And when you believe in yourself, you know you can do stuff, because you've proved to yourself that you've done it so many times before. And then that's when you're able to start taking action. And for me, that manifested with my health and fitness. I realised I was a series of decisions away from being that future person I wanted to meet, or a series of promises. So it became I'm promising myself I'm going to work out 4 times this week. And when I did it, it's like, yay.
Then you feel proud, as you say, you feel proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You trust yourself that you can do that. Your self-belief improves, your confidence, and that imposter syndrome that so many of us in business hold on to probably just gets less and less and less, right?
Oh, definitely. But I truly believe if you can start with those piddly things that have been doing your head in and get them ticked off and get them done, you do develop that self-trust with yourself. Because How many times have people said, oh, diet starts Monday, diet starts Monday, diet starts Monday. And then when it...
Hello.
But what happens when it doesn't? What do you tell your brain? This
that it's
thing
okay.
this thing that's controlling us, you say to your brain, it's not going to start Monday, which I really, truly believe leaks into other areas of your life. You know, if you say, I'm going to get those social media posts done, I'm going to get that report done, I'm going to get that pitch done, and then you don't, all you do is break trust with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you can start small and start ticking off those actions, you'll feel like you're winning. And what I like about you and your planners, you were talking about this, those 5-minute tasks.
Yes.
If you can write down a list of tasks that you can do in under 5 minutes.
Just get them out of the way. One little time block, done. 5 minute, allow it for 5-minute tasks and off you go.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant because I truly believe like that stuff is super important for being able to go, yeah, I'm winning.
Yeah.
And the more of those little ones you do.
Even if it's just the everyday home task, just to get them out your head.
Exactly.
Like unloading the dishwasher
Yeah.
or calling the doctors or, you know, book that dentist appointment. It takes minutes, but it's just about getting rid of it and allowing then the space, isn't it, in your brain to go, right, I can now devote my time to
X,
whatever
Y, or Z.
So for somebody out there that does really struggle with all of those things that we've talked about, you know, the self-belief, the imposter syndrome, and they know that it's holding them back, they've got a project to do and it feels overwhelming. How would you suggest breaking that down? Because it's all very well us saying, okay, put it into small chunks. But sometimes to somebody, even that small chunk might feel, you know, it might just feel completely overpowering. How do you think, would you have any advice for somebody to really,
I think,
like, pull it right back?
Yeah. I think that being able to break it down to the simplest of action is great. If you're a planner like we are and you love planning and you love the thrill of planning, that's dead easy. It's the implementation that's the issue and the problem. I'm a huge believer, as you know, because this is how we became mates, in accountability.
Yes.
And you know, like what we used to do, so we used to have a group, there was a load of ladies in our group and we used to hold pod squad sessions and we'd have Zoom calls and we'd say what we were going to do and then we'd put nice relaxing music on for an hour.
And we'd do it. And it was brilliant. And I know you do this as part of your Plan for Success Society and helping people. And I've done it as well. There's actually there's a thing online. I can't remember what it's called, but you can be assigned a stranger from somewhere else across the world. Oh yeah. And they're in a little box in the corner and they can see your screen and you can see their screen. It's not dating.
No. No.
Accountability dating.
No, it's not accountability. I suppose you might be. But you're not allowed to speak. You're allowed to speak to each other in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
So you come online, you book an appointment, you come online, the stranger comes on screen with you. You say, right, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Your screen's double, you can see theirs, they can see yours. The microphones get turned off for 50 minutes. You do your focus work. You're not allowed to leave, so you need to have a wee before. And then the last 5 minutes, you check in with each other on what you've done. And so if you don't have somebody in your life that might not be on your wavelength, might not understand what you do, might not be able to jump on a Zoom call with you, there are programs out there where you can do it. And I'll have to find the name of it, but this particular one, you get like a few free sessions a month. But if you want to become a member, I think it's only about $9 a month.
It's totally worth it, isn't it? For somebody that does need that extra push.
Yeah.
Just to go, actually, I've got a meeting. And I find that in my membership, just with the ladies that are in there, just that accountability of saying, I'm going to be on that Zoom call at whatever time and making that commitment to be there at that time means that they're going to do the work.
In your group, do you ever do like a sprint period?
No.
Right, here's an idea for you.
I like this.
So you put a money down, you put a wager down.
As long as I haven't got to run.
No, you haven't got to run.
No.
No, it's not like running, sprinting. So you have like a 2 week period, or you might say 3 weeks or a week or whatever. And you get your people in your Plan for Success Society to say what they're going to work on. And they've got to be specific actions. They can't say, I'm going to do my social media. It's got to be, I'm going to make 30 posts and schedule them and plan them on a Trello board or whatever.
I know what this is. Is this where you put the money down?
Yeah, so I put 500 quid down.
Did you win it or did you get it back?
Of course I did, yeah. It was touch and go whether I would or not.
Yeah.
But I decided, right, what's an obscene amount of money that I will really cry and miss. And so I did. I put a £500 wager down that I was going to create my online course and funnel, and I did do it in that time.
I love it. I love that. Girls, in my Plan for Success Society, it's time to raid your bank accounts, ladies.
Yeah.
It's
a PayPal transaction, and then if you can provide the proof that you've done it all, then you get the money back. And in this particular group that I did it in, if you don't do the work, the money goes behind the bar at their annual conference. Well, for me, who's given up drinking completely, that was like the worst thing possible.
£500 to spend
on alcohol that I don't drink anymore.
Yeah, on an apple juice. That's a lot of apple juices you've got to drink.
Exactly.
A lot of no seccos you get for that money.
Yeah, exactly. But accountability is definitely one of the best things. And I think if you can create, some business buddies that are going to do it with you, or join a group like Monique's group that's going to help you stay accountable, that is super, super powerful. You will be amazed how much you can get done when you know other people's eyes are on you.
Absolutely. I love it. Gemma, thank you so much for that today. Thank you so much for your top tips. For anybody that's listening, tell us where they can find your books.
If you just go on Amazon, type in Gemma Ray, so that's Gemma with a G and Ray, R-A-Y, Self-Discipline or Stop Procrastinating and Start Living. Or my website is gemmaray.com.
Fabulous. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this podcast today, why not hit subscribe? Also, we do give away a product each and every single Monday. All you need to do is take a screenshot of either you watching this or listening to this podcast and share it to Instagram stories. Tag us at perfectplanner.company. Everybody that enters each and every single week will get put into a draw, and on Monday we will announce a winner and you can win a product of your choice from our Perfect Planner Company store. Also, if you love Facebook and you want to get even more value from me, do please come and join us in the She Loves to Plan Business Lounge, and you'll find us hanging out over there. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tell all your friends about the She Loves to Plan podcast. You can find us on all of the podcast platforms. Thanks for listening.